From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday of the week morning. And how are you? Forced stimulus is going to the finish line. Those reoccurring stimulus checks under the forced stimulus package. In this recording, I have the latest update about your forced stimulus check and forced stimulus package, the latest twist about the fifth stimulus package, and also the incredible details about third stimulus money landing still. What a big early morning's broadcast this will be. I'll be going over the four stimulus checks, those monthly stimulus checks that will be the single biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. The routing times, who will get them and how will get them, and the eligibility for the money. Then I'll be going over the process to actually receive them and the process to get them to the bill and to the finish line. Then I'll be cutting back to third stimulus and the big money that is still being paid out and could be paid out to you this week as well. Also, I'll be cutting over to fifth stimulus and why fifth stimulus is going to bring the big SSI reform, the big payments, and the big escalation of your benefits you've been promised and has yet to been delivered. It's coming this fall under fifth stimulus. I'll also be turning to the shocking developing details about the capital gains tax at issue for the fifth stimulus package. All these details and more on a big early morning's broadcast as America wakes up across the country. I'm so excited for you. There's so much happening. Let's get to it. This is Early Mornings LALATE. Good morning, everybody. The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here. And what a big morning this is. In this recording, you're going to hear the latest update on your fourth stimulus check and fourth stimulus package, the third stimulus check and third stimulus package, and the fifth stimulus check and the fifth stimulus check and fifth stimulus package. The third stimulus check is the one that was passed just a few weeks ago. The fourth stimulus package is the one that's going to get passed in July. And the fifth stimulus package is the one in September. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. I'm also going to cover student loan debt forgiveness, the mortgages, the rent, the utilities, the business grants, and a lot more, including the child care credit. Let's get to the breaking details. First, the fourth stimulus package is heating up and it's going to the finish line. That fourth stimulus package is going to be happening, and the fourth stimulus package has everything it needs to go to the finish line. It has no bipartisan support. It has no economy fully rebounding. And it has Democratic leaders saying, we're going to put it in there if the president doesn't put it in there for you as well. Everything that you need to get it done is happening. Those House members would give you a stimulus check from now to December. House members will give you a stimulus check for the pandemic plus 1 year under the fourth stimulus package. That could be upwards of 18 months a check. The senators will give you a stimulus check between now and December. The House members are progressives, and the senators are more moderate, and they may add a lot of other things to the fourth stimulus package in addition to stimulus checks. More about that later. The House members would provide you $1,000 per month after the first month of $2,000. And the senators, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is it's this number. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. If you've seen YouTube channels with people pointing at pictures of $2,000 stimulus checks, it's fake. It's clickbait. It's untrue. No one has agreed to $2,000 as the monthly stimulus check under the fourth stimulus package. Rather, it's a talking point amongst senators. House members want to give you $1,000 a month. And then who gets it? Great news across the board. It's the same qualification as the third stimulus package. So if you make less than $75,000, this is you. Wow, great news. $150,000 or less, this is you. Married couple. So married couple, 150, you would get 2 checks, double the amount. Household, up to 4. 4 household members times 4. And then if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits, yes. Speed is an issue. You want these stimulus checks to start sooner than later because every month costs you a check. You don't want economic rebounding or jobs restored before they get this to the finish line. And that's among the reasons why it's happening. One, we learned so far this week that we're not going to have full economic rebound of this economy before July. It's still signaled for December. More about that coming up in a second. Also, we don't have those jobs restored yet. There's 8 million jobs missing since pre-pandemic levels and 16 million Americans unemployed. So that's not going to show that we're fully recovered by July either, meaning the stimulus checks are going to go out the door. So then when, where, how, and by what means? Let's go over all the details. First, when would you get the first check of the fourth stimulus package? July. When would the vote be? July. What day in July? July 4th, says Leah Schumer and Speaker Pelosi. By July 4th, it's going to go to a vote. When would you get that month's check in July for the month of July? And will they come in waves? No, they can't come in waves. They have to come together. Now they may come a day or two apart, but they can't come wave after wave after wave because you would be into the next month. So you're not going to see that at all under the fourth stimulus package. Finally, would you get it by mail or by direct deposit? I think you're going to get a debit card and it's going to get refunded. Makes the easiest, simplest sense. It does not count towards income. So you don't have to worry about SSI or SSDI. It does not count towards assets on hand. Now, before you think this looks like a lot of money, think about this. This is fourth stimulus. This is July. Fifth stimulus, this September, the president will be proposing to pay $24,000 a person. Not you. 17-year-olds to newborn. Yes, he's proposing the child care credit to go for 6 years. That would pay $24,000 to a 17 to newborn. So if that looks like a lot, it makes your check or checks of $8,000 pale by comparison. So this is fourth stimulus. Why is fourth stimulus happening? And why is there so much great news about fourth stimulus? Well, fourth stimulus is dependent upon a series of things. One, bipartisanship, economic rebounding, and finally corporate earnings. Well, bipartisanship is not happening. And in fact, the Republicans apparently have had a retreat, not retweet, retreat. retreat in the last few days, and they have apparently mocked the president in his inability to get the third stimulus done by bipartisanship, that the fourth stimulus won't go by bipartisanship, and the fifth stimulus will also not go by bipartisanship, showing that the president can't get anything done by bipartisanship. Let's go over the mathematics at issue. Third stimulus is $2 trillion, fourth stimulus is $3 trillion, and fifth stimulus is an additional $1 trillion. What's going on with that bipartisanship? Well, the president's trying to look like he wants bipartisanship, but he really doesn't. And he's not going to get bipartisanship. And with no bipartisanship, you're getting monthly stimulus checks. The Republicans offered him no $2 trillion, no climate, and $600 billion. He said, no, come and chat with me in face to face. And they did. And guess what they did? They went smaller. They now said no $2 trillion, no climate, and $500 billion. Meaning the president has to go to recon. The recon process starts in May and takes 2 months. Step one is the House leader, Pelosi, writes the bill with her subcommittees. The president doesn't write the bill. The first step is she writes the bill for the recon, not for the substantive bill. Do you agree to do a recon? Vote yes. Then off to the Senate. Do you agree to do a recon? Vote yes. Then off to the president. Sign it a law. At that point, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Back to go do the substance. He doesn't write, the president doesn't write the substantive bill. The House does. And the House will put in there what he wants to put in there, but may add in there those monthly stimulus checks. They don't have to add in there the monthly stimulus checks, but if they did, it would look like what she and others want. That Jalapao Talil provision that the House members want works something like this. $2,000 for payment to every person in America as a critical relief during the pandemic. So $2,000 for every person during the pandemic, followed by $1,000 monthly payments throughout the pandemic that continues for 1 year after the end of the crisis to keep our country and families recovered. Could that happen? Absolutely. And who's behind that as well? House member Omar, who's a very big insider with the Pelosi camp. It's a very close insider of Pelosi. So the House members could put it in there. If they don't worry, because the senators are going to put it in there. They're going to put it in there during that vote-a-rama. Remember, there's over 100 Democratic House members and over 21 Senate Democrats who have called for those monthly stimulus checks. And they would put it, the senators, put it in there during the vote-a-rama. And away we go. Finally, corporate earnings are signaling that we're not going to see complete recovery of this economy before July. Without complete recovery before July, then we need for stimulus to happen. This week, we're going to see a series of corporate earnings. Tomorrow, we're going to see Boeing, Apple, Ford, and Facebook, which should all be good. Jim Cramer from CNBC believes Thursday could be a battleground for Amazon, but Friday could be a real dog. He thinks that Clorox and Colgate will not come in strong whatsoever, will be battleground stocks, and he's not even particularly comfortable, but thinks that Chevron and Exxon will be good. Nothing is going to blow it out of the ballpark. On Monday, we saw the corporate earnings come from Tesla. And while on the revenue side, the earnings were really, really strong, they weren't particularly strong on the bottom line, the net income. So bottom line is corporate earnings not rebounding and at incredible growth rates. Unemployment, long-term unemployment, and job creations not rebounding. And finally, what's the last one? Federal Reserve. Jerome Powell will meet this week. And during those meetings by Jerome Powell, he's likely to say that the economy needs to continue to have support. He's not to change Fed policy, we're reportedly hearing. We're hearing that when the Fed meets this week, he will not change Fed policy, saying that the economy needs further support. Incredible, great news. Fourth stimulus is going to happen. Again, this is the single biggest payout you've ever seen in this channel. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Coming up after the commercial break, big, great news about SSI reform. I'm really excited for you. Those big details about SSI reform are coming in the fall, and I'm going to go over all the details, how much money you should see and more. Really incredible stuff. But let's go to some of the things that are not so incredible. The Where Is It section of this video from this guy. Where's the $5,000 EIDL grant? I don't see it. Do you see it? Where is the restaurant grant? Do you see it? I don't see it. What happened to the shuttered venue grant? It finally went live yesterday. Oh, that's one good element there. How about the money for mortgages, mortgage assistance, rent, and rent and utilities under the third stimulus package? Do you see it? Not there. So what's going on with these things? They're just not landing. As to the rent and the mortgage stuff, they're coming in May. As to the $5,000 EIDL grant, no news. As to the restaurant grant, no news. Shutter Venue grant finally went live yesterday. And then the Miguel Cardona scandal of this channel. Boy, Miguel Cardona was his sort of, you maybe want to call it excuse. He said that he would consider student loan and debt forgiveness of $50,000 if Miguel Cardona prepares a deal memo, and he'll look at it and gave Cardona 2 weeks to do the deal memo. Well, Cardona didn't do the memo. And now 2 weeks have passed since that deadline, and we've not seen it. So why is this memo not being produced, and why is it late? Moreover, why do we even have to have a memo? Here's a really big question. Why do we need a memo? The memo is self-explanatory. Why? The question is, can a president forgive student loan debt by executive order? Of course he can. Obama did it and Trump did it, said Elizabeth Warren. So Biden can do it. What is the big deal here? If he doesn't want to do it, if he doesn't want to do executive order, then just say it. But what he's trying to do is really avoid a no answer. Now, he did tell Schumer and Warren that he wouldn't do it in October and January and February. But somewhere around the line, around April, he said, yeah, okay, I will consider with executive order. Well, once you start the path to consider it, then consider it. But he hasn't considered it. Coming up after this commercial break, I'll be considering the big details about SSI reform. I have all that great, exciting news. And then the shocker the real shocker about capital gains taxes under fifth stimulus. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues on LALATE with Mornings LALATE coming up in a little bit. It's at 12 noon. It'll be a great broadcast. That's 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And then we go into noontime at 2 p.m. Then after that is Afternoons LALATE at 4 p.m. It's our easy breezy new schedule programming, a new show every 2 hours on this channel. The toast is toasted, the butter is buttering, America is waking up, and everything is here except some bacon. I'm so excited you're joining me on a big morning of Mornings LALATE and early Mornings LALATE. As America's awake to a new day, there's incredible new promise that fourth stimulus is happening. That fifth stimulus would pay those that would do the SSI reform that we've needed, and that finally we're going to get to the finish line. I'll be going over all those details and more coming up in just a second. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Be part of the best channel there is, the most informative, the most accurate, and the most up-to-date. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Let's get to the other breaking details right now on this channel. Fourth stimulus is really heating up, but also heating up is fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus is the American Family Plan, and it's in the fall. It's in September. So what's happening? Well, as Democrats are putting in fifth stimulus SSI reform. What is the SSI reform? It's the removal of the income exclusion, the removal of the marriage penalty, and then it's a lot of other stuff, including the increasing of your benefits, the increasing of assets, and the new inflation benchmark. I said inflationary, inflammatory. The new inflammatory benchmark. Yes, that's another joke. The new inflammatory benchmark. The new inflamed benchmark. Ow, that hurts, the inflamed benchmark. Hope you're... Let's get to the details. First, they're going to take your benefits and raise your benefits a lot. And so that new benefit number will be your new benefit amount monthly. You will be gone from the old amount. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and even if you have multiple benefits per month. Second, they're going to tie you to inflation so that your benefits would increase with the inflationary rate. Inflation is expected to grow 2 to 3% over the next few years, so your benefits will grow every year 2 to 3%. Inflation is generally 1 to 4% in the U.S. economy. Next, they're going to remove the asset cap that for some benefits say you can't keep more than $3,000 on hand. And then they're going to remove the income cap. Those things are just very old. The asset cap is from 1984 and the income cap is from 1962. The income cap says you can't work and stay on benefits. Well, they're going to get rid of that. If you want to work, you'll be able to work. $2,000 a month approximately. You'll be able to keep that money and still stay on benefits. And finally, they want to remove the marriage penalty. If you know what the marriage penalty is, if you have it, then you're going to be very excited to have it removed. When would this happen? So fifth stimulus would be in September, and it would take a 2-month process by recon, and then it would become law. So you should likely see these benefits hit your account in the last 2 months of the year. Incredible, great news across the board. As we go into the big morning of today, what else is important to know about what's unfolding? Well, what also is unfolding is a lot of controversy about the delivery of the fifth stimulus package. And it's because of this person. He is Larry Kudlow's replacement. Kudlow was the chief economic council member under the Trump administration, and this guy is in charge of it under the Biden administration. Here's what you need to know, which is really quite fascinating. As we sit here right now, you know what SSI reform is under the fifth stimulus package, and you know that the fifth stimulus package is called the American Family Plan, and you know the American Family Plan also has $24,000 for 17 to newborns. But beyond that, you don't also know what else is in the fifth stimulus package. In fact, no one else knows what's else in the fifth stimulus package. What really is going to these families in the fifth stimulus package? And why are we hearing about the fifth stimulus package right now? Well, we haven't. Here's what's strange. Yesterday, the president thought it would behoove himself to roll out the economic advisor to tell you what's going to be used to pay for the fifth stimulus before we even know what is the fifth stimulus. We heard America Family Plan. That doesn't sell us. We don't know we're going to like it simply because it has the word family in it or the word plan or America. We need to know what's in there. And ultimately, because we haven't heard what's in there, we don't know why we have to have taxes for it. Here's what we did know going into that announcement, that the American Family Plan will cost $1 trillion. Okay, so that's a start. It's $1 trillion. When we hear $1 trillion, we understand that's a lot of money, and that takes a lot of taxes to raise $1 trillion. So what did we see on Thursday last week? An announcement from Bloomberg News that insiders said the president's considering raising capital gains taxes, not from where it is at 20 to 21% or 22%, but nearly 40%, nearly over doubling it. The White House initially said we're not going to comment on the story, and then what they did yesterday was the reverse. They did comment on the story, but didn't comment on the way that you would have liked. Here's what happened. With no briefing yet about what the fifth stimulus package really is, the president rolled out that individual you saw before in his picture to tell you that the fifth stimulus package, the mystery fifth stimulus package, will have a change the corporate tax rate. When asked what the change the corporate tax rate is, he said, we haven't made a determination. Well, wait a second. How could you have not made a determination if you know that's going to pay for the $1 trillion? Either you know the rate or you don't know the rate. To make it any more obvious, then he was asked, well, who would be impacted by this? And he did have an answer for that. He said 99% of Americans would not be impacted by it. Well, you only know that if you know exactly what the rate is going to be. And you only know what that is if you know exactly what the proposal is. How can you say you know the impact if you don't know what the actual provision is? Of course you know what the provision is. You're just not telling us the provision. This is where it didn't fall on correct, good ears. And as if it couldn't get worse, then he said that 99% of Americans won't be impacted by it because the vast majority of Americans are W-2 employees. Okay, where do we get this guy? What do you mean the vast majority of Americans are W-2 employees? Tell that to all my PUA viewers, my Uber, Lyft, my Grubhub, my Airbnb, my sole practitioners, my EIDL grant applicants, my PPP grant applicants. What are we talking about here? Does not make sense. And here's really the big issue, is that a major #1 broadcast financial news channel did a report yesterday, and it clearly conflicted with his analysis that 99% of Americans would not be impacted by it because they're W-2. They found that 25% of all stock owners would be impacted by it. That's just stocks. It'll also be impacted by homeowners who buy and sell houses, or car owners who buy and sell cars, or Amazon owners who run Amazon sites that resell stuff, or any antique shop or anything like that where you buy and sell stuff. These are all items of capital gains. And yes, you could be a W-2 employee, even though you're probably not, and still have capital gains. So it's not particularly clear why this was done. Here's the problem. When we talk about Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax, we're talking about people who are billionaires and trillionaires. That's not this. This is not billionaires or trillionaires. And it comes after just days ago where Bernie Sanders proposed to tax people who make six figures to give it to people who make six figures. Why are we taxing the same group to give money to the other people in the same group? This sort of plan of where you tax people just to transfer the tax to another group that is in the same group of people doesn't particularly make sense. It also doesn't make sense in the context of what this person said last year. Jerome Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve, said that the U.S. economy can afford spending. Spend some money. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Spend the money, we can take on debt. Spend the money, we will be able to survive with some more debt. Just spend the money. If this doesn't make any sense yet, let me make it even clearer to you. In 2020, the HEROES Act from Nancy Pelosi's price tag was over $3 trillion. Her price tag did not carry any taxes being raised. So if she was willing to spend $3 trillion last year without taking taxes, then why this year we have to have a fifth stimulus package with a tax raise? Why do we have to have a fourth stimulus package with a tax raise? And as to fourth stimulus, we have yet to hear clearly from the White House what that is either. Here's what you need to know. The fourth stimulus package rumor on the street is that the president's going to touch the corporate tax rate and touch the inheritance tax rate. The rumor on the street is that in the fifth stimulus package, he's going to touch the capital gains tax rate and change the personal tax rates. Why are we changing so much taxes? If you want to change things, if you want to improve infrastructure, if you want to improve water or climate or internet, just do it. You don't have to particularly tax all these things. And remember that ultimately, when Elizabeth Warren debuted the wealth tax, which would be taxing trillionaires and billionaires, guess what the president said? No. Wait a second. He doesn't want to tax trillionaires and billionaires, but does want to tax lower number people with lower amounts of income. And then there's Bernie, who wants to tax people with six figures to give money to other people with six figures. What's going on here? Not particularly clear. Here's what you need to know. When talking about fourth stimulus needs to start relatively soon. The start date is May, the end date is July. They go on vacation in July. Every breath should be spent on this White House and this administration and this Congress on fourth stimulus. It should not be spent now on fifth stimulus. I'm covering fifth stimulus for SSI reform because it's news. But there should not be any legislative effort or executive effort on fifth stimulus. Moreover, when third stimulus has not gone out, why are we talking about fifth stimulus? You haven't paid the grants, you haven't paid the rent, you haven't paid the mortgages. To quote the president exactly, it means nothing to pass packages if people can't send out the money. Well, you're doing exactly what you said you wouldn't do. People have not gotten the rent, the utilities, the money has not gone out to states, the business grants have not gone live. So why talk about a stimulus package from September to December of this year when the one from January has yet to send out the money? Not particularly clear. But Purple Power, stay on point. Share this video, hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. We need to push and keep these congressional leaders. Remember, Congress has been very good so far. Congress has been on point to get fourth stimulus out the door. Congress has been writing the president a letter to get items of the fifth stimulus package. Congress has been on point to get these things done. And we need to stay on point as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing you later today. I'm back with you on Mornings at LALATE at 12 p.m. And then we go into the exciting news thereafter. Noon is at 2 p.m. and then we go into afternoons LALATE. And after that, the continuation happens with the second afternoon's LALATE. Then evenings LALATE, and finally LA Late Night. Thank you for joining me on a big early mornings broadcast. I'm so excited you've joined me. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling. The toast is toasted, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and I'll be back on Mornings LALATE.